Hey folks, my name is Brad, and today I have hiked way up into the mountains of Vermont with my metal detector to this massive old stone foundation that people used to live in about 150 years ago. Now, I don't know much about them, but hopefully they lost a few treasures in the ground while they lived here. Now, if this is one of the first of my videos that you've seen, I publish one of these every single Friday. So if you like what you see here today, consider subscribing. Maybe just come on back next week. I'm gonna get my metal detector out and see what we can find. 60. We have here. No kidding. Wow. So one of the challenges of metal detecting in the forest and the places that I typically go is there are a lot of remnants of hunters. Shell casings, shotgun shell hulls, and the bullets themselves. And they typically read around the 50 to 70 range on the metal detector. So when I got that 60 target, I had little hope that it was going to be anything other than those things. But hopefully, as you saw, we got ourselves a coin here. And it did ring so low because it's a nickel. But look at that. 1907 V nickel, and it is in beautiful shape. I hardly ever find nickels. They're hard to find because of that lower number. I can count the number of V nickels I have found on one hand. Of course, called a V nickel because of the Roman numeral 5 to indicate 5 cents, but it looks like a V. That is an awesome find for me. I love finding big old copper coins, I love finding silver, but it's hard to beat finding something that I don't find very often. An old coin, 1907, over 100-year-old nickel. Pleasant surprise, way better than a shotgun shell hole. Kind of a crunchy 79 in the ferns here. Hitting something. I think I know what that is. Do you recognize this? It's actually missing the 3 most important pieces. And you know, I typically do my best to avoid digging iron, but it's inevitable. Sometimes it just sounds really good on the metal detector. And in this case, I am glad I dug this one up. It's a really cool find. Did you figure it out yet? This is a leg hold trap. An animal trap, but it's missing the 2 jaws, which would have hinged in these holes here, and it's missing the pressure plate. Whenever I find leg hold traps in places where folks lived, like there was a building 20 feet away from me, seems unlikely they would have been trapping animals that close to their home. So this must have been placed here after the fact, after it kind of became forest. And this one in particular, the pieces that it's missing, it makes me wonder if it was placed and a large animal got its legs stuck in it and it ripped the jaws right off of it. Pressure plate is gone too. Really tells a grim story. Although, you know, if the jaws broke off here, it would have fallen off the animal's foot. Bad for the hunter, good for the animal, I suppose. So, animals in Vermont that might have been big enough to do that. Black bear, moose, Bigfoot. Let me know what you think. Just the frame, I guess you'd call it, of a leg hold trap. We've got 2 tones here. This one's a 65 and this one's an 80. Start with the lower tone first. This just looks like melted lead of some kind. Yep, very soft. And this is the 80. Whoa. Well, I try to include a mystery find each and every video, but it's pretty rare the mystery find is actually made out of sterling silver, like this one is. So I can hear some folks already, Brad, that is not silver, that is aluminum. It looks like modern junk, and I'm with you. That's what I thought too. But then I took a closer look at this thing. 925 out of 1,000. That's 92.5% silver, and I can't quite make out that bottom text. I'm gonna have to do some research on that when I get home, but maybe some of you will recognize this, and you can let us know down in the comments. It almost reminds me of cutlery, but I'm not entirely sure what's going on here, if this is an intended design or if it's crushed, but I'm sure that you can see all of the beautiful flowers and vines around the outside. This almost looks like it's a cap for something, but why it would be silver, I have no idea. Mystery of the day made out of sterling silver. I'll take it. If you happen to know, fill us in. Whatever it is, it's a first for me, that's for sure. Let's keep going here. Alright, well, I just had a run-in with Mother Nature. Gotta be careful out here in the wilderness. We've got bears, we've got moose, coyote, and I just had a beautiful target over that way. I started digging and I started feeling pain all over my body. And as it turns out, I was digging into a ground bee's nest or yellow jackets or something. I did not stick around to identify them, but I got stung at least twice on my right arm, my legs, my lower back, and the reason I'm telling you, there's two reasons. The first reason, I got stung right on my eyebrow. So if this side of my face is swollen for the rest of the video, that's why. And reason number two is I left my shovel. I grabbed my metal detector and ran. I forgot my shovel, so we have to go get it. I'm gonna switch to first person on my GoPro for that. Wish me luck. I don't honestly remember exactly where it was. Oh, I see a camera. My second camera is right here. Didn't even realize that fell off me. I see my shovel. You see it right there? Let's approach slowly. Oh, I see where they're coming out of. You can see there was a hole there, and I was under the impression that was a dig hole from like a metal detectorist that was here before me. But no, I can see bees coming in and out of that. All right, we're gonna grab the shovel and go. And we're gone. Just like that. On with the show. Hopefully I don't go into anaphylactic shock. 59. Oh, what do we got here? Nice. All right, well, I'm sure that you recognize that. Maybe you even still wear them. They haven't really changed a whole lot over the last couple hundred years. This is a suspender. Every once in a while there'll be a name brand. This one doesn't have anything. It does seem to be in pretty good shape. It looks like it's missing some of the teeth up here, but a handsome suspender. Not an uncommon find whatsoever at places like this. I would go so far as to say I find at least one every time. Almost every time. And you know, you may think to yourself, why were these people losing so much stuff? Day to day, I can't think of anything I personally lose. Maybe coins, but you have to keep in mind I am very, very close to where the home once stood. This maybe was in the bottom of a closet under the floorboards, and then the house fell, and then here I am finding it. Maybe there was a clothesline. It fell at some point and was lost. Maybe people just lost more back then. Pretty cool find. A common one. Maybe we'll even find the other one. This is kind of a crunchy 62. Looks like a coin. You You gotta be kidding me. So I just got done explaining earlier how difficult it is to find nickels because they read such a low number on the metal detector in the area where a lot of trash typically reads up. And some days I actually just filter those numbers out. Thankfully I didn't today, and what we have here is nickel number 2, but this one is actually a different variety. I'm sure everybody recognizes that. The buffalo nickel with the Native American on the face. Now these coins are notorious for not having a legible date because it was on sort of a raised part of the coin and it wore off very, very quickly. It would be down here. It does not appear as though it is visible, but these have a range of dates which will give us a pretty good idea of when it's from. And if by some miracle I am able to get the date off this, I will throw that up on the screen. That's awesome. You know, it's funny, I almost never metal detect places from the time frame when these were made. And so for that reason, I haven't found very many. I have found way more Spanish silver half reals than I have buffalo nickels, as silly as that sounds. I know some folks in this hobby find these all the time, and they would do anything to find a Spanish silver real, but I never find these, so I'm excited. Beautiful. Don't get me wrong, I'm excited about Spanish silver too. Maybe we'll find one here. Let's find out. I've got a very, very loud 88 here. Oh, I think I just found it. So on the surface. All right, well, the cap is spinning. And you know, before we open it, the dream of anybody who metal detects or is a treasure hunter in any way, the dream is to find a cache, right? A jar or a can just full of treasure. Old coins, jewelry, somebody's life savings from long ago. Could that be what this is? I don't hear anything jingling around in there, but it's pretty heavy. Let's find out. Drum roll. Okay. Well, that's not treasure. Disgusting. Whatever the original contents of this cold cream jar was, cold cream, presumably, it has turned brown. It actually has a terrible chemical smell to it. So now the question is, what do I do with this? I don't really want it in my bag. I'll set it up on a log somewhere for the next guy to get excited about. I would guess 1920s, 1930s, something like that. Maybe somebody out there who is more knowledgeable in bottles than I can tell me what was in this. Hopefully taking a big whiff of that isn't going to do me any lasting damage. 51. Oh, nice. You know, one of the things I love most about treasure hunting or metal detecting is every single time I go, I learn something new. And this thing that I just found, many of you probably already know what it is, but it wasn't until about a year ago that I knew. And since then, I found maybe 3 or 4 of them, and it really just makes me wonder if I had found them years previous, I just didn't know what they were, and so they went into the trash bin. And then it makes me wonder about all of the other things I may have found previously that I didn't know what they were, so they went into the trash bin. Makes me wish I saved all of the trash I've ever found so I can go through it periodically. But what we have here, if you didn't already know, is a very early plastic or acrylic or Bakelite pipe stem. Now, it's not uncommon to find the clay pipe stems at sites much older, or maybe even sometimes at sites this age. But this is when they started kind of transferring over to this new material, plastic. And for the first time for me, it looks like there is some kind of logo on here. Unfortunately, it is cracked right through the logo. We can see a K and a B, and we'll see if we can figure out when this is from. Now, I suspect you can still buy these for smoking pipes, but this is very clearly an old one. I'm gonna guess about 100 years old. Pretty neat. You can imagine 100 or so years ago, somebody sitting up here, maybe on their front porch, in the middle of absolutely nowhere, enjoying their pipe. Let's see what else we can find. 63. Are you kidding me? Another coin. What do we have here? Oh my goodness. Another V-nickel. I don't believe it. Well, if you had told me when the day started that I would be finding 3 100-year-old nickels, I wouldn't believe you. I can't even tell you the last time I found a nickel. But here we are with our third, and this one is another V-nickel. I took a second and exposed the date here under the corrosion. 1910. Is it just coincidence that they lost 3 nickels and I found them and did not find any other coins here? Or is it that maybe somebody's metal detected here in the past and they already cleared out all of those nice high tones and all that remains is the nickels? I'm not sure what the explanation is, but I am happy to find them. Not Spanish silver, another nickel, but it's a V-nickel, something like I said earlier, I have only found a handful of, maybe 2 or 3 ever. So I potentially just doubled the amount of V-nickels I've ever found in the course of an afternoon. The back looks great. You can see the V clear as day. The bust isn't too bad either. 3 coins, 3 nickels. Unbelievable. All right, folks, well, I am throwing in the towel. Behind the scenes today, it was catastrophe after catastrophe. It started with the bee incident, of course, which I'm still sore from. Thankfully, half of my face did not swell up. As I was running during my escape, I broke one of the harnesses that I carry my cameras on, so that was an issue for the rest of the day. I also broke the nice microphone on top of my main camera, so I had to switch to my lav mic, and I also broke one of my tripods. And now, thunder's rolling in. It's gonna start raining pretty soon, so I have to get out of the forest. A great day otherwise. Some wonderful finds, a very small pile of treasures today, but I have it all laid out. Let's take a look at it. Okay, well, I think the majority of this stuff was in the video. I tried to include pretty much everything I found. We have the leg hold trap in the way back. This is a hook of some kind, I'm guessing not for work. This seems like something that would be in the home. A couple rivets. This is the lid to a Zippo-like lighter, though I don't believe it's big enough to be a Zippo. Arrowhead, piece of a lamp, 1 button. We have the mystery piece of silver. It's actually upside down. It says 925 out of 1,000 on there. This, I believe, is maybe part of a padlock of some kind. I'm not really sure. It's a big circle of brass. It sounded great on the metal detector. We have 1 suspender, pipe stem, which after some rubbing, I was able to reveal solid rubber. So I guess that settles the material question. It's not Bakelite, it is like a vulcanized rubber of some kind. And then the 3 coins. I believe it was 1907, 1910, and a mystery date buffalo nickel. I never find nickels, and here we have 3 in one day. I can't believe it. Also not shown are the bees that viciously attacked me. All right, folks, thunder's really starting to roll in now. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's video, and hopefully I will see you next Friday for another new adventure somewhere up here in the mountains of Vermont.